Good evening, and welcome to another edition of your number one road safety program, a program that brings driver to the consciousness, a program that sparkle all of the malpractices, irregularities within the traffic. Well, I'd like to say welcome to another fresh edition of the program Traffic Talk, a program being brought to you through the kind courtesy of the management for the Atlantic Broadcasting Corporation, BT Radio 105.1. A program share you to come on this radio every 6:15 and lasts up to 6:45. And so it's another edition right here. My name is Martin Fagans, your number one driver, your number one kicker and pimping guy. And to have in the studio a big personality. He has been here before, and you'll be talking to him. So as usual, we bring you our theme song that has currently been played, and we bring you the breakdown of the program that has to do with our quotations, safety tips, and our topic for today has to do with the recapping of lots of situations and traffic accident that happened through the course of last week. And so the man charged with the regulation and regulating traffic affairs within this nation is here this evening to bring us up to speed as to what is contributing to this accident situation around our Montserrat and other parts. And so welcome to it. Quickly, let me just bring you our safety quotation for the day. And it says that if you are drinking, if you drink and drive, you are... It says, if you drink and drive, you will die. Because that's sound mind. And if you use other substances and drive, that might lead to the same situation. Make no mistake at texting while driving. You cannot be texting somebody at home, in the offices, and driving. Two things just occupy the same space. And that's the root of Marta, right? So those are our driving quotation for today. Quickly, let me give you our driving tips. Keep calm and drive safe. Keep your eyes glued in front because that's where you're headed. You must be focused on what your destination is ahead. Say no to distraction while I drive. Talking to you, so let's get to the end of where we're going, and I will talk to you via your wife. Or whatever situation, don't be distracted when driving. Fast driving kills. Remember that part. And lastly, no life is worth the risk of speeding. And so we take a breather. We'll come back. We go straight to our prof for the day. And he will be bringing us up to speed as to the traffic situation. So if you're a driver or kicker person or a motorcyclist, having a speaker on your bike or wherever means you're listening, today I want you paying your keen attention to what he has to say. Because a lot has happened within the traffic, and when it comes to things that has happened in the traffic in the course of last week, this is the man charged with the responsibility to tell us what are some of those contributing factors to that. Stay tuned, I'll be back, and I'll bring straight to your person, the Chief of Traffic, Mr. Fred Gay, the Liberian National Police. Stay tuned. Like to say welcome back and go straight into the production right here. Mr. Gay, once more, I'd like to say welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to our studio again.
Thank you. It's a pleasure to be
Okay.
here.
Well, the time is 16 minutes past 6 o'clock, wherever you are and have you listening. I have in studio the Chief of Traffic of the Liberian National Police, the man charged with the responsibility of making sure that all goes well within the traffic. Chief Fred, last week I hosted the Chief of Public Safety, and we managed to catalog some stuff. First of all, prior to him coming in studio, I had an interview with your colleague, Mr. Wadil Cabo, on the day of the incident of what happened in on the highway around the rehab area, just the accident that took the life of one of your officers. My condolences to you, sir. Can you bring us up to speed? What is the contributing factor to all of these accidents, Bytown, Boulevard Junction of the highway? You are in studio now. You are charged with that responsibility.
Uh, Thank you. It's a pleasure again to be here assisting to traffic. Before we get into the uh, consequences of driving
Mm-hmm.
and resulting to death, especially over the weekend,
Right.
there were a series of accidents that occurred
Okay.
resulting to death. So we just want to capture the statistic for January and February for accident.
Okay.
In January, we have 144 accident cases reported, and the total number of deaths was 17.
Okay.
Out of that 17, we have 9 operators, 2 occupants, and 6 pedestrians. So out of that 17, we have 13 males and 4 females. As it relates to injury,
Mm-hmm.
we had a total injury of 139. We had operator 60 of the operators sustained injury.
Mm-hmm.
58 were occupants, pedestrian. 109 males,
Okay.
30 females. Types of accident cases.
Okay.
We have car to car 35, motorcycle to motorcycle we have 24, tricycle to tricycle we have 1, car and motorcycle we have 34, car and pedestrian we have 12,
Wow.
car and motorcycle we have 8, tricycle to motorcycle we have 6, tricycle to pedestrian 1, self-accident 9, motorcycle to pedestrian 14. Total vehicle involved 261. Total vehicle damage 224.
Wow.
So that was for January.
Mm-hmm.
So quickly we move to
February.
February now. We are in March.
We in March. Should we go back to
So
February?
the cases reported in January were 144.
144
But
total.
in February increased to 169. We got death of 13.
February 139, you say?
139 cases were reported.
39, okay.
So number of death 13.
Okay.
So operators 5.
Okay.
Occupants 6.
Occupant 6.
Pedestrian 2. Total 13.
Total 13.
The males.
Mm-hmm.
The males that died
In February.
in February we got 12.
12.
Then 1 female.
1 female.
We got injuries.
Injuries, yeah.
The total number of injuries 123.
Wow.
Occupants account for 57.
57.
Operator 57.
Operator 57.
Occupant 44.
Occupant 44.
Pedestrian 22.
Pedestrian 22. And number of car destroyed?
No, coming there.
Okay.
So the total males that sustained injury in February 94.
94.
And female 2.
Female 2.
Yeah.
Wow.
We got types of accident cases. We got car to car.
44.
Car to motorcycle, 53.
53.
Car to pedestrian, 4. Motorcycle to pedestrian, 17.
Wow.
Motorcycle to motorcycle, 18. Tricycle to car, 8. Tricycle to tricycle, 6. Tricycle to motorcycle, 6. Tricycle to pedestrian, 3. Self-accident, 9. Total vehicle that were involved, 270.
Okay.
We got total vehicle that got damaged, 238.
Wow.
For February. So it's not a good news. It's not a good news.
It's not a good news at all.
Unfortunately, in March is recalling a lot of accident cases.
Which we will bring to this public attention at the end of the month.
Yeah, at the end of the month, we'll give you that statistic.
Okay.
But during the weekend,
we
have series of accident cases.
Apart from those ones that occur that everybody know about.
The major one, one that happened around junction opposite African Dream Academy.
Right.
Where this truck lost control and collided with 13 vehicles. As a result of the accident, we have 23 people that were involved.
23.
Out of that 23, we have 6 deaths.
6 deaths.
And 17 injuries.
17 injuries.
And out of that injuries, we have 4 police officers that are inclusive of the injury.
Okay.
Then the death, we have a police officer
amongst those that died.
Inclusive of the 6 deaths.
Okay.
So it was very vital. But the operator had been investigated already.
Okay.
He had been formally charged.
Okay.
So the only thing that we're going through right now is all the informations that we need for prosecution is what we are gathering right now as it relates to the total numbers, because the numbers are coming in day by day.
Because it was critical.
So we do not want to close the entire investigation as it relates to the numbers of people that were involved, because every day we have to discover somebody. Because after the accident, some were taken to
private,
not major
clinics,
hospitals.
Right.
So in fact, the conclusion of the 6th death came in yesterday.
Okay.
So and another yesterday injury.
Okay.
So
because
we hope to close on Wednesday for this information.
Okay.
Because we also
this next hour, based upon our next meeting, we'll have a full update on that,
so that we can have the case. We can have the operator prosecuted finally.
Okay.
So that we have another accident with a keke.
Yeah. Where was that?
Around Freeport.
Okay, between the LPRC.
Yes.
Right.
The one we call keke tricycle.
Yeah.
The tricycle was loaded with planks. And you had someone in the tricycle.
You mean the keke was carrying planks? Is he allowed to do that within the traffic?
The keke was carrying planks. And then the keke collide.
Okay.
So the planks
slide off
and fell over the occupant on board the keke.
Okay.
So as a result of that, the occupant were pronounced dead.
Okay.
We have another one on the St. Ralphie Highway.
Apart from what happened to your officer?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like when I was like dig to sleep last night around 12:15, I received a call that we had this accident in the R2 community.
Okay.
Involving the truck and the motorcycle. And then as a result of that, people were alleging that people died.
Okay.
So the community members blocked the road.
Okay.
So I left my home and
in the middle of the night.
I drove there. Surely what true, I saw
a body
live in the roadway.
Wow.
And then we engaged the community through the community leadership. And then we took these victims and they were pronounced dead.
Wow.
Personally, they were taken to a funeral home. to identify the family member.
Mm-hmm.
Today, family members show up and they are being identified by family member.
Right.
So the
Right.
operator of the truck also escaped the scene, but reported himself at the police station. Person is in police custody. Investigation is ongoing.
Okay.
So accident all around the place. In fact, before coming to the studio,
Mm-hmm.
I received a call that an accident happened in Wiyala,
Okay.
a self-accident with a Guinea truck,
Okay.
and someone on board the truck. They also.
Wow.
So we have traffic managers.
Right.
All these accidents that are occurring is contributed to drivers.
I was about to ask, what is contributing to all of these accidents?
Drivers' behavior.
Hmm.
But
How do you mean?
there are different types of accident.
Okay.
Have condition cause accident.
Okay.
We have weather condition that can cause accident,
For real.
and we have drivers' behavior that also cause accident.
So can you just enlighten the public on those various patterns in that cause accidents?
Most of these accidents that are occurring is as a result of drivers' behavior.
Hmm.
The behavior of drivers.
And what are some of the behaviors being carried out?
Some of the behavior being carried on is they are exceeding required speed limit. They are driving very reckless.
Okay.
Sometimes people will ask, but every time the police say reckless, what is reckless?
Okay.
For us, the traffic people, if we say you are reckless, it means that you are driving with wanton disregard for the safety of lives and property.
Okay.
So you know that I'm driving the school zone.
Right.
I am to be doing 15 miles per hour.
Right.
And then you are driving above 15 miles per hour. So that's been very reckless.
Okay.
So most of the accident is contributed to the driver.
Right.
So we need to pay serious attention to driver behavior.
Uh-huh.
And also re-strategize.
Right.
The last week we were discussing licenses to operate motor vehicle.
Yeah, go ahead, sir.
Last week we were discussing licenses to operate motor vehicle. So our scatter in road safety.
Okay.
If obtain the driver license
right properly too.
Properly, it can also help to minimize accident. So we don't want for it to appear like people taking license to go and kill people.
Okay.
So that's why it appearing to be right now, because you see the man in possession of a driver license, and yet still his behavior
isn't
cannot road safety procedure.
I have a question. You talked about speed zones, and then you talk about road construction where being another contributing factor. So can we say these accidents that occur within the Robertsfield Highway, is it attributed to the road construction work being done because there are not many signs along those ways?
No, it is not road construction, it's road condition.
Okay. So construction of the road is ongoing.
Construction to road is not prohibited in the traffic.
Right.
Because construction to road help to develop road infrastructure.
Okay.
So, and the law also talks something about that. When road is under construction, some part of the road is closed. Drivers are cautioned to drive when they are driving the corridor of a road construction, to drive with due care. Okay.
Right, are they aware of how to drive now that the road has been reconstructed?
So this is where I have the problem.
Right.
How can you say that I work for ABC Radio and you do not know how to conduct yourself on the radio? Well, so that's give a problem. So you are an operator. Right. So that it's presumed once you obtain a driving license, sure, it is presumed under the law that you are knowledgeable of the traffic rules. Contrary to that,
let's take into consideration acquiring a driving license is not like before or like other countries that we are on par with. People just was into a transport ministry. I've been there before. You just was in, and then you just go and apply for your driving license. They just take you to a little room and say test. Would not even a police officer that is into the traffic, that knows about traffic stuff. You just do what you might call it, and you get a license. What needs to be done that people can acquire driving license properly with the knowledge of the police, especially you within the traffic, having that within your jurisdiction? I think it needs to go back to
No,
the
some
police.
of the discussion
Hmm.
were enlightening will be authorities.
Right. Because
But
that's how it should be done.
licenses to operate motor vehicle
Hmm.
is the cardinal point in traffic.
Right.
It is a gateway to the traffic because an individual
Hmm.
being introduced to the traffic is a result
Right.
of obtaining.
Okay.
So if this man obtained a driving license and then he's in the traffic, it's not conformity.
Right.
That's the big question.
Sure.
That's the big question.
Mm.
So we all now need to look at these licenses to operate motor vehicle very carefully,
Right.
so that we cannot, instead of us being authority to
Right.
protect lives and property,
Right. It shouldn't be about
instead
the
of us being authority to make sure that the road safety is cardinal in the process,
right.
it should not appear like we are giving people license to go and kill people.
Right. Because people
So,
just obtain license and out now in Liberia.
We need to revisit that. That is very serious. This is not a joke. This is not a
It's a
politics.
serious matter.
This is
Right.
so obtaining driving license. I hope authorized authorities will look at that very
I think you
carefully.
listened to your boss, the chief of public safety, when he brought to my attention. We both discussed because I'm knowledgeable of how you obtain license in Europe and that of the US. Is the police and a separate board charged with the responsibility to vet people? Do you think if that is being put into place in our society, our driver will be more responsible? Because before you obtain your lesson, you must go through a test. If you fail, you wouldn't get a lesson. You have to go back to your driving school, complete that course before you come. And that's when you see drivers being responsible. Do you think that needs to be applied within our society?
Before we discuss about new formula
Hmm.
coming on board, the one we have on board, we need to practice it.
But that was the old way it used to be
But
done.
once on book hits,
Hmm.
before the driving license, the first thing I should do an eye test
Okay.
to make sure that
Is that been put in
applying
place
for the
today?
driving
Is
license,
it still been put
the
in place?
visibility.
Is it still been put in place?
What I'm discussing what is expected.
Okay.
What is
Of
expected.
the system.
I'm not discussing practice.
Okay.
What is expected and what is lawful
Okay.
on our law personally. You must go through an eye test. Next thing is you must be able to read and understand the road traffic signs and signals.
You must be literate enough to become a driver.
Not really literate.
You must have an understanding of
You
reading.
have an understanding about the road sounds and
Yes.
signals.
Speed limits.
And you need to know the regulatory sound also.
Okay.
You also need to be knowledgeable of the traffic law.
That means you have to go to a formal driving school in order to become a driver.
Then before you come to the mechanical device of the vehicle that have to do with changing gear and all that kind of stuff, that's the minor aspect of that.
Right.
So if you can understand the vehicle and traffic law, if you understand the road sounds,
right,
and if you got a good eyesight,
right,
if you're above 18 years old,
mm-hmm.
and if you are tested and evaluated,
mm-hmm. By whom?
If you are tested and evaluated on book by the police.
Okay, because now your driving school needs to do the test.
Let me get out of my share small.
Okay, step off. I'm listening.
The traffic law was enacted in 1956.
Right.
It was revised in 1972.
Okay.
Everything about that traffic law in chapter 11.
Right.
It says the chief overseer of the enforcement of the vehicle and traffic law is the Ministry of Justice. It's the Ministry of Justice. And the Ministry of Justice, in the Ministry of Justice, police perform the function therein of the enforcement of the vehicle and traffic law.
Yeah.
That law has not been changed. That law remains the law. So everything about the 12 chapters in the law, the enforcement of that 12 chapters in the law it should be done by police.
Okay.
Like we are saying, chapter 2 of the vehicle and traffic law is saying licenses of a motor vehicle.
Okay.
It is one of the chapters of the traffic law.
Okay.
Chapter 3 is registration of motor vehicles.
Okay.
Then you come to chapter 4 that talk about compulsory insurance liability.
Okay.
So all these chapters are found in the traffic law.
Mm.
And it is the Ministry of Justice that is supposed to be enforcing that aspect of the law.
Okay.
But in this country, when you are knowledgeable of your job,
Mm-hmm.
people tend to say that you want to act like you know more.
You know more. Right.
It is not so.
Is it because we are afraid of systems?
Not that we are afraid of system, but things have to be put rightly. If we want to live rightly,
Right.
things need to be done rightly.
Mm.
Yeah, so these things are there.
Mm.
We don't need to joke with them. Most especially,
But
look,
why they are not been put in place to make driving knowledgeable of these things, the do's and don'ts within the traffic?
no, when we say driver being knowledgeable, this is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
The driver is
Mm-hmm.
incumbent upon you that applying and that you are an applicant to obtain driver license.
Mm-hmm.
You have to pass through this process.
But what if the driving school is not teaching you that? And what if you just lay on the football field? How do you be knowledgeable of all these things within the traffic, the do's and don'ts? How do you reconcile that?
That people don't want to drive in school.
So that's a huge factor.
But if you say driving school not teaching, I will have a different version of that.
Okay.
Driving school, I have visited one or two driving schools.
Like SOBD.
Participated in the
road
curriculum
safety
development of driving schools.
Okay.
I mean, they got good license.
Okay.
If we all can just pass through that process of going to driving school
and doing things properly,
we need to avoid doing things the other way.
Right.
Like I always said, when it comes to road safety, it's everyone's business.
Right.
Road safety should not be left with one group of people.
Okay.
Because the involvement of everybody in road safety help to reduce accident and casualty as we're discussing.
Okay.
So if Mr. John Brown have obtained license properly, we will not be discussing a lot of accidents. Like so look, I think from this we have to look. People can practice something for years,
right?
But nothing can happen and get a turnaround,
right?
Look, we need everyone involvement,
right,
to do the right thing. So the right thing should not be left with one group of people. Even you yourself who want to drive in the public,
right,
should know that if I'm going to the public, I'm going to interfere with the public.
Okay.
And interfering with public, I am going to move with motor.
Right.
And that motor can give up
and
my behavior.
A luxury is a death killing machine.
As I said today, that instead of road condition causing accident, instead of weather condition causing accident, look, the behavior of driver is causing more accident. Right. The man knows that. Look, a lot of those guys on the highway.
Right.
This is what happened.
Taking 2 to 3 persons in the front.
Some of them, besides taking people in the front seat, some of them want to make a lot of money.
Yeah, quick trips.
And then you drive from here to Uganda. You want to go Uganda, come back, go Uganda, come back 3
times a day. Right.
Look, there's another factors in traffic we call fatigue.
Tiredness.
Fatigue that causes accident. Fatigue is not something to joke with.
Right.
The body itself need rest. Even we are working.
Especially long distance travels.
Long distances.
Right.
So you need some rest.
Right.
Look, you have to understand that this motor I'm driving, any mistake, somebody may die. Somebody may sustain injury, including myself. And people probably may get damaged. At the back of your mind, look, you will help avoid accident.
Okay.
The whole thing is let everyone else help to avoid accident.
Okay.
Get involved. What can I do to help avoid accident? What can I do as a passenger? What can I do as a driver?
Okay.
What can I do as a vehicle owner? What can I do as a man working for transport unions?
Right.
What can I also do as a police officer to help reduce accident? Or there should be no accident. If we all are dreaming the same way like that, we will not be having this kind of problem. But if it left with police alone and everybody drive by saying, "Lord, that police thing there." Okay. Yeah, it is true that police can die in an accident. How many police will die? Like now, We had 6 deaths.
Right.
One police is inclusive.
Right.
We had 17 injuries. 4 police is inclusive of 4.
Right.
So to tell you from the larger scale, the public is involved.
Right.
Yeah.
And sometimes passenger, because I've been on a vehicle before, I see passengers also contribute to driver making mistake, because some passengers are always in this thing called haste, want to go fast and do it. Do you think those are some of the contributing factors to some accidents?
This is what happened. You want to drive fast,
Mm.
but you are not understanding the consequences.
Right.
If the driver drive fast,
Mm.
you will get fast to hell.
Right. Speed kills.
Yeah,
It thrills, but it kills.
speed kills.
Right.
Look, there are a lot of accidents we see on the highway is terrible.
Mm.
The speed.
Okay.
Look, who told you say you can't have accident? Accident can occur, but the damage will should not be that kind of major damage. Maybe you can have an accident and you can reduce the casualty
Okay.
by observing the required speed limit.
Okay.
Other people will know. Like the other day, I was participating in this. Right now, we are having the reform of the traffic law.
Okay.
Right now, we have
Revive it.
we have the second draft right now.
Okay.
The second draft is out, and then I will argue. I mean, I put the argument there that look, we need to make
Okay. It was 1950 what?
driving under the influence a crime.
Okay.
And that my idea was battled by many. I was just telling them, though, I don't see me as the police officer.
But they are not within your job site. They don't. They are not within your job. They don't understand. I guess they should have listened.
Look, we have to do a lot of stuff. This is why I was saying it today. Traffic is not just police or law enforcement.
Right.
The component of traffic are many. Component number 1 is enactment of laws. If you want for traffic to be very effective in any good country, you must get good laws. You should have laws that will represent present day realities. So yeah, so that's one of the major components of that.
Well, you're here now today. Thanks for coming. Now that you're here, because I see that you could tell from your voice that you sound a bit down and sad with a lot that's happened, and your office is trash. You wouldn't be happy with all those news coming in. Drivers are listening. We're not taking calls today. That's why I said today will be about you teaching and enlightening them. Now that you're here, what can you do within your power, with your voice being heard now, to advise drivers, to bring them to the consciousness of driving and saving life, before we take leave of you because of time?
Number 1 is that if your vehicle have developed before,
right?
If your vehicle signals you that there is some defect,
right?
I am strongly advising you, do not move that vehicle. If that vehicle, do not move that vehicle. Let the vehicle remain in that position that it developed the problem. Call a tow truck. Get that vehicle towed to a garage or a workshop. Let that vehicle be properly examined by vehicle examiner or vehicle expert, or what we call in Liberia mechanic. And let that vehicle be certified before plying the streets and highway. Because it's dangerous. Vehicle breaks down in the street and you want to do street repair. Right after your street repair, yourself declare the vehicle safe and you're moving. Very dangerous. That vehicle may cause major damage, as it did in this gun accident that we lost 6 lives and 17 people.
So who should ensure that the vehicle is roadworthy after being repaired? The mechanic or the police?
The vehicle had an expert. The police do not have the expertise that this vehicle is mechanically safe
to be back on the traffic.
So who does that? It is the expert. It is the
mechanic.
The mechanic.
It
is the mechanic that says this vehicle is safe. It's safe for mechanical job. So the only component of the police that you see there is just the equipment. The police is only responsible for the equipment. Like for example, the vehicle don't have a tail light. Or the vehicle don't have a view mirror.
Your wiper is not working.
These are just equipment of the vehicle. But the mechanical device of the vehicle,
if
it develop problem, you as
the
a police officer will not know, because you're not an expert of that. So we have experts that do the examination of these vehicles and make sure that the vehicle is in good a mechanical adjustment
Okay.
for operation.
Okay. Well, not to take much of your time, thanks for enlightening us today. And I hope to see you on Wednesday. I wish time will be returning to our previous topic. But tomorrow I'll be hoping to hold in studio the guy for the road and the guy who is responsible for traffic registration, the vehicle registration guy. I would like to host him tomorrow to ask to know when is the registration process starting, because you see guys along the way to Oro Junction, so we need to get clear information on that as to when the process will be starting for Monserrato. But thank you so much for coming today. Hope to see you Wednesday, Mr. Gay. And again, my condolences for the loss of your officer.
It's a pleasure being here.
Okay. The voice of Assistant Commissioner of Police, Chief of Traffic, Liberian National Police, Mr. Fred Gay, bringing us to light this evening on another issue that has to do with the traffic. Until I talk to you guys, we'll another Tuesday. Martin Fagans is my name. Stay safe, drive safe, and I'll talk to you tomorrow evening. Goodbye.